Good evening, everyone. This is Ryan Hoyme, aka Massage Nerd, and today I have Stephanie Whittier. She is a licensed massage therapist and craniosacral therapist for over 20 years, and she is the creator of tspheres, aromatherapy infused massage balls, and president of Tranquility Spheres Incorporated. Her self-styled integrative bodywork, focusing on cellular memory and continuum movement for pain relief, has established itself as an essential therapy for many in the music, film, and fashion industries. Stephanie created tspheres based on practically an intuition, both qualities of being the keys to success in all our endeavors. Welcome tonight, Stephanie.
Hi, Ryan. Thank you.
Thanks. So, are you still a massage therapist then?
I am. I'm still a massage therapist. My practice is limited these days because the company's growing and there's a lot to do with development of products. But I still see my top 5 clients on a regular basis.
Okay. Do you miss being in full-time practice then?
I do, and I don't. I do because I love being a massage therapist and I love the feel of helping other people and what I get from my practice. But I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I've developed different businesses inside the massage therapy world. So getting my hands and feet and everything involved with tspheres is really exciting too. So
Did you ever injure yourself while you were a massage therapist then, or?
yes, I did. In the very beginning, which is one of the reasons I came up with the concept of tspheres. I thought that my little hands and my little body could work on any size body, no matter what. And I actually tore a rotator cuff doing deep trigger point therapy on some of the bodybuilders from World Gym back in the day. But that led me into a beautiful place of learning how to take care of myself and into other, I guess, more subtle therapies like craniosacral therapy, therapeutic body work, and then it also taught me how to use my feet. And I took a Thai massage course. So.
Okay. And then what is your favorite style to perform then when you're performing a lot?
Wow. These days it's actually using my own product because after being a massage therapist for 20 years, using the tspheres in session allow me to hit deeper trigger points and then still use my energy work so my hands don't have to work so hard. So it is a combination of cranial sacral, myofascial, and then a little bit of tui na. I use the tsphere ball in a tui na movement to really get under the myofascial and in the muscle belly. So it's a combination of those 3.
Okay, so it's a smorgasbord basically, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I call my work integrative body work. I have about 10 different modalities under my belt, and I like to mix and match them depending on what's going
Yeah.
on.
And how did you come up with the idea of T-spheres then?
Well, the first was when I injured myself. I went to take a few courses, bioenergetics, learning how to roll around on tennis balls and pinky balls to move the fascial tissue and to help me get back in touch with my body. But it really stemmed from when I started my massage company in the music, film, and fashion industry, and I was traveling. And there was just way too much work. There were way too many people to take care of. And then after a long day of being on set or backstage, I'd get back to the hotel room and be exhausted. And then there I was going, well, who's going to take care of me? So tennis balls were not working well enough anymore, and the pinky ball wasn't. And I'm not a big fan of using golf ball on my body. So I started collecting different size rubber balls, and the other thing I would have to do on site is use aromatherapy oils to disperse the energy or the toxins in the air. I don't like to use chemical stuff. So it just kind of, one day I went, why don't I do something with this? And I started giving it as gifts to the people I was traveling with because I couldn't see everybody, teaching them the things I had learned about how to take care of myself. And I was also doing product development and placement, working with a PR firm. I live in New York, so there's a lot of opportunity here. And I used to do, my massage company would work with beauty editors and launch other products. And I met the CEO of a large company one time at one of these events, and went to talk about my great idea, and he stopped me and said, if you have an idea, protect it. So I basically sat down and started trying to figure out how to combine the aromatherapy into a really good rubber compound, and um, came up with the concepts, and I still have the patent pending. And one of my clients gave the product to her cousin, and I got a little press piece. So I had to turn the gifting home product into a real company. So it kind of got forced to launch through a press piece in a magazine, and then by Daily Candy. And it just has snowballed from there. I'm still playing catch up.
Was that pretty stressful then? I mean, a lot of responsibility all at once, or?
Yeah, it really was. It was a little scary for a massage therapist, where I was like, oh, I like seeing my 5 clients a day and doing my night, and it just became nonstop, fulfilling orders and learning how to, basic liability insurance and import export, and the company that I first launched with was Origins, and like having these big power meetings. So yeah, it was stressful, but thankfully I had this little product. So
Yeah. And did you go through many different prototypes then?
yeah, I actually, it's funny. I should have thought about it. I have a bin full of all the different prototypes. When I was first developing it, I wanted to use medical grade silicone, the kind they put in bodies. And I also wanted to use a US rubber manufacturer to help me develop the product. So I was going all over the place. And then finally, my friend, Brandon Garrett, who I think he now works for Ralph Lauren, was with Avon. He was a friend of a friend, and everyone, like I said, I gave him his gifts to all my clients and my friends, and he found me some manufacturers in China. And they flew over to meet him for a meeting, and we sat down with my brother and Brandon and me.
Your Skype is like locked up?
Them, and they the one they now sell. So, sorry, you there?
Yeah, your Skype just locked up there for a moment.
Okay. Is it back?
Yep, it's back. Yep,
Okay.
yep. So you stopped with the China.
Yeah, basically, I was trying to get it made in the U.S., and nobody would sort of take on this little person. And again, my friend connected me with my manufacturers in China, and we spent a year after we figured out the compound for Origins and how to do it on and it's really still not a mass-produced product. We still produce in small quantities. My biggest production was 6,000 sets. So I still produce pretty much anywhere from 2,500 to 10,000 sets, depending on the orders. But I've forgotten my train of thought. This is what happens.
Yep, sorry.
um, they helped me get it together for Origins to be an FDA-approved product. And then after that, I actually went into development of what I launched as my own spa product. And if I can say so, it's 100% better than the one we launched with Origins, because I had more time to work on the texture, the infusing process into the rubber compound, the packaging, design, and all that stuff. So.
Yep. And how did you come up with the name tspheres then?
Well, my company in the music, film, and fashion industry was called Tranquility Massage. And I just sort of stemmed from there and called them Tranquility Spheres. And one day I was having sake and sushi with one of my good friends, and she just called them tspheres because she didn't want to say tranquility. And then I was like, at first I was a little offended and went, they're not tspheres, they're tranquility spheres. And then I sat with it, and I remembered I'm a big science geek, or at least I used to be. And I remember T-sphere is a component in a physics equation. And a very general description is that if you add a T-sphere into an equation in physics, it changes the nature and compound of that chemical or the equation. So I just went, wow, that's really cool, because if you add a T-sphere into your daily life, it changes the nature of the way you feel, and actually the way the compound of your body, the way your myofascial tissue is, and helps relieve chronic pain. So that's how I came up with it.
Yep. And do you have many different sizes then, or?
Yeah, well, actually, we have two sizes now. I don't know if anyone is or everyone's familiar, but I'll pull them out of the little guy. We have the tiny T-sphere, which is like thumb pressure, and it's 27 millimeters. And then we have the 45 millimeter, which is the one that's similar to a golf ball. It packs a real punch, but it's small. A lot of times people are like, I want the tennis ball size or bigger. But the reason I launched the golf ball size instead of the larger size is because the compound of T-spheres really does get in there, and people are, I think I lost you again.
Yep.
Yeah, hold on.
I I can kind of see you. You're all fuzzy.
Okay. Do you have to see me?
No, no. I don't have to. No.
That's so weird.
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder what happened there. Do you want me to try and fix it, or just answer your questions while I fix it?
Yeah, you can just answer my questions. Yep.
Yeah, so the golf ball size, a lot of people want something the size of a tennis ball, but it's a little too powerful until you get used to the T-spheres compound. So that's why I launched in the tiny size and the golf ball size, and not the larger tennis ball size.
Yeah, and I actually like the bigger ones that you have, just so I can get into my feet a lot more. What areas of the body do people use it for mostly?
Basically, it depends on the practitioner and the person. Most people use the golf ball size all over body for larger muscle groups, and that's usually for women and smaller men. And the tiny size are used for feet, face, hands. But I've also found a lot of women like to start with the tiny size in their hand for learning how the rolling technique works, because it fits right into the palm of their hand. And it actually feels like a little thumb, so you can roll it across your body and get a feel for how that T-spheres compound works before you add the larger size. I'm a little distracted by the video not working.
Oh, that's okay. And then,
Okay.
then what with the tier? How'd you come up with adding aromatherapy to it?
Basically, I was doing research. I was working in with cancer patients, AIDS, Hep C patients in New York, Beth Israel, and a couple of clinics. And I did a lot of research with aromatherapy and mood altering and what they can do for the human body. And I was traveling with it to the different venues, and like I said, I used it to disperse the toxicity in the air. And I guess I just decided, launching just a massage ball was, whatever. It's like reinventing the ball, and I wanted the two to be something you could carry with you anywhere, and I just insisted on making it happen because I've seen such great results with aromatherapy. And the way aromatherapy is infused into the T-spheres compound is the way I used to use aromatherapy in my practice when I was working with really not well people. And it's just through the olfactory nerve. There is the perfect amount of aromatherapy in the T-spheres massage ball that it works with through taking a deep breath, through the olfactory nerve in through the central nervous system. It's not going to release on your body or do any major skincare unless, of course, you use the reinfuser that we supply with it that's got the jojoba oil in it. So I'm really big on just first the sense of smell and allowing yourself to calm or get awakened depending on the essential oil, and just be with that moment and then start to apply the massage. And that's the way I used to use aromatherapy in my practice.
Okay. And can people use other aromatherapy with it too, or is there specific kinds or?
Well, we're probably going to be launching our own line, and I have had people do that. But if you apply too much essential oil, the pure essential oil to the tspheres compound, it kind of dries it out and makes it not so attractive and sort of flaky.
Okay.
So prefer you just use the jojoba essential oil that we supply, or get in contact with us and we can help you figure out where to go to get them.
Okay.
But yeah,
Your webcam,
it's still, I think I'm going to move and see if my big computer will function.
okay.
I had you on a laptop, so I might have to.
Okay, that's fine. And then you said it's patent pending, right?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
What kind of process for actual patents then?
Oh my God, that's where all your money goes. um, you have to write. Actually, I thought I could do it all by myself, and I did for the first 2 years, and I wrote the provisional patent. But lawyers are there for a reason, because the language is very different than what you think, and the communication process of what we do as massage therapists is so different than what they're doing in Washington and in the government offices. So my patent's to me, I thought it was a very simple one, but because the aspects of what I've done is medicinal, like we're sold in the Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic, and we work with lots of different hospitals. It's a medicinal aspect, and I'm trying. Oh, I think I'm back.
Yep, you're back. Yep.
Yay!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you're locking up.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
So, still have me?
Yep, I got you. Yep.
Yeah. And so the patenting process, because I'm trying to get them to understand the difference between aromatherapy and the medicinal qualities and what it does to the body, the difference between that and scent and perfume, it's been a grueling process. I know some people have had really easy, but the government's also turned over. They used to just pass anything, and now they're a little stricter, which I like. But it's been a long haul. But it's expected by January 2012. So.
Okay, cool. And then you have to have it on your product that it's patent pending, then, right? And
I do, and that's the other thing. I hate to change my belief system, but doing business the past few years outside of massage therapy world, people do take your ideas. So I guess it's one of the things. Thanks, Ryan, because
yep.
that not being on Skype was distracting me. But
Yep.
that's one of the things I'd like to encourage any massage therapist out there that does have an idea. You're working with your clients. Your practice is individual as each human is. If you have an idea, it's really simple. The first steps are really simple. You just go buy the book, patent it yourself, read through it, and just write a very simple couple paragraph provisional patent on your idea and mail it into the government office. It used to only cost $100. I don't know what it costs now because mine was so long ago. And that covers you for a year. And then if you have a tool or something you think you want to put out there, I highly recommend it. I honestly never thought I would be here today with the little gift I was giving. So I'd like to encourage people out there to put all their cool ideas, especially most massage therapists are their integrity about wanting to help humanity and the world. You know, how bad could it be that it was all massage and well-being products out there?
Yep.
That and some wine.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And was the tspheres mostly for self-help in the beginning and it developed into kind of massage a little bit then, or what's the
Yeah,
process with that?
the product developed kind of like massage therapy has in over the years. I actually just had the intention for it to be a self-care product, and then like I said, I gave it away just as gifts to so many people, and so many of my friends, especially the ones traveling on tour. I had one of my dear friends email me and like, thank you so much. I have not been able to get this knot out, and I couldn't figure out how to do them in the bed or on the floor because he had like really, dense muscle mass from being a roadie. And he's like, but this hotel had like this really deep bath, and I put him in the bath with me, and I got that spot. And then it was my brother and his wife who were my first couple who wrote to me after they had their first child, and they're like, "Thank you so much." I actually gave him to her because she's a flight attendant, and he works out. But they're like, "Thank you so much. We finally had this moment together, and Scott needed a massage, and I needed one, and we learned how to like do it because we didn't know how to give a massage, and they'd watched me use it on my sister and my mother and stuff. So it just sort of has branched into many different markets. And I guess the last tour I was on is when I was tired, I have to admit, doing the work for 20 years. And I basically started using them in the session with my clients. I was always a little worried, like I think a lot of massage therapists might be out there. Well, I need to use my hands. They need to feel my hands. And it was my top-notch guy who endorses me who actually turned around and said, "What's different? Because that's really great." And I was like, "It's the little product I've been using you as a guinea pig for, and I'm actually using it tonight because my hands are tired." He's like, "That's what you need to do." So it was just so many people giving me different ideas. And then the lovely Roxanne Martinez, who found me through Spa Magazine, came, and she was one of my first massage therapists that really wanted to incorporate it in her practice and share it with her clients. And then she led me to Karina Braun, who is now my official tspheres educator. And I'll talk more about that later. And it led me to you and bring it back around to making it a professional tool for a massage therapist. We have Exhale and Canyon Ranch in Vegas and the cruise line ships. All of their massage staff are being trained in how to use tspheres with in session, some add-ons and things like that. So it's sort of gone from taking care of me on the road and my clients to this fancy retail product on the shelves. And then I took it back, launched it in the Spa and Resort Expo. Again, that's where I met Leslie. It was just Leslie Young then, but she was a big lover of the product. She helped me out so much. And now I'm really happy to be back talking to massage therapists and bringing it into their world so they can learn how to take care of themselves and prevent the injury, not wait till they get hurt. And so they can learn that the tspheres fit, and the reason a lot of people are finding it's so different because the rubber compound does allow you to still have your, if you do energy work, the energy can move through it. The palm of your hand is still resting on the client. So a lot of times they don't even know that there's a tool there because it is such an extension of your hand. So it's, it's just coming back to using it in session after Dave was like, "This is what you should be doing." It's great to be here, and so who knows where it's going to go next. Yeah. Oh, I do actually.
Oh, you do?
We talked about that before the show, remember?
Yep. So where is it going to go next?
No, we're not there
You
yet.
okay?
I want to talk about Karina more.
Yeah, yeah. So I know with Karina, she's really big into yoga and massage, and she also has a
Well,
great
and
self-help
you
book
just
too.
said it. It's going to go into yoga, Ryan. Boy, you're just connect the dots there for us.
Yeah.
Um, we're going to be launching a professional. Well, there's two. There's a professional use package that will be the non-infused tspheres, and we're already doing those in spas, but that will be available to massage therapists through Karina, and I get in touch. She'll be heading that up for tspheres. And then we're also going to be launching the tennis ball size tsphere. All right. Karina, I have to show them. It's this size,
Wow.
and you only see it real quick. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
A little teaser. I'll
Can,
put it back here.
can I get one autographed?
And that'll be launching, and that will be just for the trade and therapists for the first year until we get them educated. It really packs a punch. And so Karina's going to be adding them in her yoga therapeutics class, and I have a couple of things going on with some yoga companies. So.
And Katrina, she has so much energy all the time too. It's this.
Oh my God, her and I just so click. Okay, so I have to look at my cheat sheet and put my glasses on since we're talking about it. Karina actually has a class coming up in New Orleans on December 3rd and 4th, where she's going to teach her personal body maintenance. That's creating peace with your hands. And if you go to her website, you'll see she has a package there where you get her book, and she sets the two different sizes of tspheres. And in the course down in New Orleans, it's going to be at the Tapas Yoga Center. And the second half of her Creating Peace class basically incorporates tspheres. She teaches the self-care maintenance and how to use them in session for add-ons. So, and she's also my educator out in Vegas. She's going in on October 10th to start educating the staff there. If I'm not mistaken, I think they have over 80 treatment rooms. And with the 2008 and corporate crunch and all that, they've cut down on their education. So one of the things I like to do is I'm going to put Karina in all these places on tspheres funding it, so massage therapists can learn how to use this. And it's actually, it's not completely selfless, because of course it's my product, but it helps the massage therapist. It helps, a lot of these massage therapists are having to bring in like a quota for retail. A quota for retail, so you get to meet that quota through a tool that's really beneficial to your client, and it helps the client. The client goes home and has something that they can take care of themselves in between sessions. And I found when my clients started doing that, when they came back in session, I do emotional release stuff through my cranial sacral work. I've gotten away from that, and it's more structural again. But a lot of times the blocks that are happening in a client's body is emotional. And the more they can get in touch with what is going on in their bodies on a regular basis, when they come back to us and lay on the table, they've cleared that, or they're comfortable with it. And it really allows us to get in deeper and basically, I'm back up in my face.
Yep.
And then basically allow us to help them get out of pain a lot faster. My background is basically the connection between the emotional and the mind and the physical. And you can separate them, yes, but sometimes when you find a client who just can't let go of that chronic area no matter what, and again, in my own practice, this is why I love my own product so much. It actually helped me help myself. I would send them home with this. I would tell them little things to do. And I find they come back, and that place that I couldn't get into before, they all of a sudden weren't so afraid for me to get in there and release it.
Yep. And then with selling the stuff in people's businesses, what are some tips that you can give to for therapists to sell them? Because a lot of therapists, some of them are kind of scared or they don't know how to sell things. Or
Wow. Um, well, the first thing I can say for me is I've never been a hard sale. I have, even with my company, and we're selling key sears. And if you guys go to the website and look at my spas, it's the upper echelon. It's the creme de la creme, and it they just sell there because the people that like to take care of themselves want anything to help them take care of themselves. So when you're with a client and you think it might be you're pushing them to buy something, first you got to change that mindset. Just make a suggestion and add them into your own practice or use them, and eventually they'll either like them or they don't want to do it. And either way is fine. It's just changing your mindset on, oh, I'm selling this product and I feel like I'm pushing something. It is, and I've actually traveled to a few of the spas that sell my products to just make sure they're still representing the brand the way I want it. And they are, like International Orange in San Francisco. Christy Swenson worked for my massage company backstage, and she brought them in out there, and they've been selling them 10 sets, 20 sets a month. And all they do is they might introduce them in the session, but in a spa, they just give you a little thank you card, and they'll put a couple little products on the shelf that they think you might benefit from. And that's the same way you could do it in your practice. Just suggest it to your clients, this is what I've started using. I think it will help you, and just let them decide. Eventually they come around. They're coming to you for advice on how to be well. So if you don't believe that you're giving them good advice, you got to change that mindset, because that's sort of sabotaging your whole being for doing massage. It's a simple suggestion. I know Rebecca Bowler, my sales rep, who is also a massage therapist out in San Francisco area and global. I sent her a set as a gift. She didn't look at them. Then she finally started using them, and then she wanted to come on board as a sales rep. And her techniques have developed so amazingly, and she just basically, she sort of leads in the retail sales when she educates, but she just basically presents them either at the beginning of a session, lets them take a little waft of the aromatherapy. She really likes to do it at the end with either the peppermint or the lavender, and just use them a little bit on the neck and shoulders, and then just leave them in a little dish next to the massage table when she's done, and a little card. And so the client just knows that's what they just got treated with. And it's a no-brainer, because they come to see Rebecca and they come to see you for how to be well. That's my suggestion.
okay, and then how do you actually clean the balls then?
um, Thanks, Ryan. That's something that's happened, and where people have destroyed them without asking or reading the pamphlet. You really only need to cool water rinse them. You can hot water rinse them, because we actually have a boil technique to heat them. But cool water rinse, and you can use a 50-50 diluted water with 50% hydrogen peroxide, and just a little one of those little water spray bottles, and spray them, pat them dry, and then just I have a little rack that I let them dry on. You can microwave them to heat them and boil them to heat them, and that itself cleans out the impurities. But the best way is cool water rinse, the hydrogen water peroxide spray. I was really not well back in the early 90s, and I learned this technique to clean the impurities out of my own system from a nutritionist, to take a warm shower, then I would spray my body down with this hydrogen peroxide spray, and it was literally, I could see the stuff coming out of my pores. And so I implemented that technique to the teeth here to clean the impurities out. If you use soap, it's going to dry the ball, and going to, after a while, it's going to look not so pretty. If you use, what do you call them? Those antibacterial,
Hand sanitizer stuff and yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
going to dry the ball out as well. And yeah, I just don't recommend them. And I know there's a lot of, if you're, the germ phobias, and you need to be careful with it because of the contact dermatitis. But the other thing is that I don't, if you're selling them in your practice, you're cleaning them regularly, and then again, that's why we've introduced the professional package, so you can actually reorder at a lesser price. Um, so
Yep.
that's my way of cleaning them, and we've used them. Basically, again, sorry folks, but my Skype keeps going out and it distracts me. Um, uh, Basically, the hydrogen peroxide and water. I've been doing this since, let's see, and even my home product, 2005 is when I really started using them, and I haven't had not one complaint or one return or somebody it made me break out. So the hydrogen peroxide water spray is working.
Do you have any kind of warranty on them?
No, not really. We have basically have a kind of a strict policy about returns because I didn't in the beginning, and 3 months later somebody's like, well, I think I want this set and this one's not the right aroma. So basically, if there's anything damaged, then of course you get the product fully, a new one. But I've made it pretty. The product is pretty durable. It actually lasts a lifetime. So if you can break one or destroy one, yeah, let me know.
Yep.
Now, there is, and if you want to get experimental, I know I won't replace your set, but if you do,
Yeah.
you can actually take a pair of scissors and cut into it, and you'll start to see where the compound's different. You can bite into it. If you have really sharp fingernails and you go to pick it up, you can kind of razor cut it. But again, it's mostly massage therapists that are using it, and our nails are usually pretty clean and not sharp. You can nick a T-sphere if you use a sharp object, but I'm hoping you don't have any sharp objects in that massage table.
Yeah. And do people use it for heat treatments or cold treatments at all, or?
Yeah, they do. Two of the favorite.
Your Skype is locking up again?
Uh, yeah, you can either microwave them for 2 to 3 minutes or boil them. I suggest just put a pot of water on the stove, turn the water on like you were going to make pasta, let it boil first, and then throw the T-spheres in there. Place them with a
Yeah.
spoon. And, and then it only takes a couple minutes for them to retain heat. You can actually leave them, as I have done before for getting them, you can actually leave them, 10, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Nothing really happens. The water boils away before the ball goes away. But it'll get too hot. So I suggest 2 to 5 minutes. And then the cold technique is you can keep them in the freezer, store them there. This is great for sinus headaches. In the summertime, if you're in New York, the city streets are really disgusting and hot, and I keep a set of T-spheres in the freezer, and I come home and roll my feet on them and then do the whole purifying hydrogen peroxide to the T-spheres. I re-infuse them and put them back in the freezer for next time. So both cold and hot therapies. And again, all of this is on the website and on the pamphlet for your clients to see. I know one of the favorite things on board the Canyon Ranch cruise spa is to keep them in the warmer, and in the session when they're doing head work or arm or hand work, place them in between the scapula and the spine and that rhomboid, region where most of us can't reach, and the clients are loving it. It's a no-brainer. They want them and take them home right away. So.
Okay. And then we're talking earlier about selling them in your practice. Can anybody purchase them through your site and sell them then, or?
Yeah, I'd like anybody who's interested, you can email me or contact me through the website or go directly to Karina. I want to try and really set a standard where people are at least educated through Karina, through the Skype video, or see how we recommend using it. Because again, if your body mechanics aren't up to date and you start using it, you can't hurt yourself. But to see the proper way to implement it, I have 4 general use applications, which with the tsphere ball you can apply it under the body, which is how I first started implementing it for self-care. You can apply it under the body, using it as an active pressure release point, low back, in between the shoulders, ankles, under the hamstrings. That's an active pressure way. There's a rolling technique where you hold it in the palm of your hand and you just roll back and forth. You can do light stimulation, or you can do deep, and you need double palm to do that. Karina, again, has videos and is really great at teaching these techniques in her class. The other application is a myofascial and sort of cross-fiber friction, where you hold it with your fingers and you can go side to side or twist, and that really gets into trigger points. And then the other is, what is my fourth? There's palm pressure, finger pressure, acupressure, and the cranial release way of using them. So if you are interested, again, contact me or Karina, and then we can help get you started in the best way suited for your practice.
And can people get continuing education credits through those?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
and yes.
Okay.
Karina is an accredited educator, and that's why I went with her in the tspheres. So you can you can definitely get credit. And she has a list on her website of all the states, and I know we're working on New York now. So.
Okay. And then, do you do anything with charities then?
I do. I've always done work with charities. My mother brought me up that way. But when she passed away, I had the pleasure of meeting an incredible man by the name of Eric Gast. He's a music producer, and he turned philanthropist. And the charity is called FM World Charities. We do the largest skin cancer screenings on the globe with the newest technology. And my inner beauty product that's infused with rose geranium gives back to that charity. So if any of you guys are interested in doing, giving back that way, that's the product to buy. And also, if anybody out there is interested, Facebook is the best way to check out FM World Charities now. Eric's been traveling Zimbabwe and all kinds of crazy places doing good deeds. So Facebook has the most updated, and when we do our screenings and stuff, or anybody who's interested in getting involved, just shout out to him. It's a great organization. And I'm on the board. We're doing an event in New York on the 26th at Tribeca Grand. If anyone's in New York or local, come on out. It's a great group of people, and we do some good stuff.
Okay. And do you know what Katrina's classes entail then with the balls?
Yeah. I've actually spoken to her this morning to really get caught up on it, because again, forgive me guys, I've got my head in corporate red tape, but the first part of where she teaches tspheres is the self-care. We've got a forearm demo up on YouTube, on her YouTube channel and on the tspheres YouTube channel. So she shows you how to do self-care, and she does more than forearm, but that's the video we have now. And her whole second portion of her class is dedicated to tspheres education, and then she shows you ways to use them in session. She's been doing the back add-ons for the first portion, but as we grow, there'll be others. So basically the self-care forearm, and then the back add-ons.
Okay. And then Is she gonna? So next year when you get the bigger ones, she's gonna be incorporating those then, or
Into her
yeah.
yoga therapeutics, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
And then those will they will be available, but I don't have the yeah, I can't speak about anything else other than what Karina's doing with them right now.
Yeah. And do you know how to talk therapists into taking self-care classes? Because it seems like those classes and business classes are lower on the totem pole compared to technique classes. Everybody wants to do the technique classes, but people need the business class and they need the self-care classes, though the most, I think, sometimes.
Well, I mean, I would just basically say I know from my graduating class, my particular massage practice has just kept going and going and going in many different directions. And I injured myself and was forced to take a self-care class. I wouldn't suggest doing that because I lost 6 months of income. I never took a business class. There you should, because one of the things massage therapists forget is that it is a business. But it's about balance. You need both. And I think, and I and I hope I'm correct here, but one of the great things about Karina is that she's also not only just traveling around and doing it, but you can learn via Skype. Um, and you really do need to learn how to take care of yourself for the longevity of your practice. It's just necessary.
Yeah, because some stats I've seen out there, the average life expectancy of massage therapists in the field, I think like 5 years or something, and
Yeah, it's
yeah,
such a shame because we get, and that's one of the things is we get, one of the big things to remember is you don't have to perform in order to do your work. I mean, doctors don't perform. It's just you go in and you have to trust that even if the client, unfortunately, we have such a society that wants you to pound them. Um, it really is. I mean, you really need to educate them and educate yourself that that isn't the way to release chronic tension. It's a there the techniques are very specific, and Karina has the techniques on how to actually accomplish getting your client relaxed and those chronic tension areas. She works in hospitals in all kinds of cases, not just relaxing massage, and teaching you how to take care of yourself. They just work. So
and I know the T spirits is
learn how to take care of yourself so your practice will keep growing for at least half as long as mine and many more. Yeah.
yep, and I know the T spheres hasn't been on the market for a long period of time, but do you see doing any kind of research in the near future at all with T spheres?
Yeah, the Cleveland Clinic and the Mayo Clinic is who we're doing research with, and again, Karina works with some pretty interesting people at Johns Hopkins and things, and so yeah, we'll be adding the research. The only research I had a chance to do before I launched, and I was terrified that they were going to go, this is not what you said it is, was a group called Chronic Babe, and it is a 4 or 5 women that got together to help mainly women living with uh, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, and they found it and asked for it, and it was a cold review. I still don't know any of them, and I love them all. And they got them and they reviewed them, and the worst part of one of the reviews was, and it helped me because I took that blend away, but one of the women didn't like the neroli lavender blend and said it didn't inspire inward reflection, and like she took everything literal. So I did away with the neroli, and now I just have the lavender. But they gave it 5 stars and 10 thumbs up if you have 10 thumbs, because a lot of them were real, like the ones that are like, this isn't going to work, nothing works for me, and you can still find that review up if you Google it. But that was the only research, plus my using them in the cancer wards at Beth Israel and a couple places in New York. But it wasn't, watched over research. It was, yeah. So it's something we will do in the future. Yeah.
Yep. And I don't know if you know this, but I do live in Minnesota, like I told you earlier. But I live in Rochester, Minnesota, so home of Mayo Clinic.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
there.
yeah. So we call it Mother Mayo because there's many other Mayo places and stuff, but that's the main one is Rochester, Minnesota. So
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure my Rebecca is the one. I've been wanting her to get them. We're in Beaumont with an acupuncturist there in Michigan. That's a really great alternative care center. And then Cleveland Clinic picked us up this summer, and Mayo just came on board, but they're doing it the way I want them to do it. They bought them for the retail shelf, but the lead RN there, they're introducing them in seminars, and we're going to get feedback and work with the nurses. Yeah.
yep, definitely, yeah, because Mayo is usually cutting edge in most things. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
I mean, I get a little. I told you I go in this direction, but both my parents have passed away in the past 5 years, and my father survived cancer at Johns Hopkins, and I remember treating him with my tspheres because he hated those little humpy things on his legs for thrombosis after being in surgery, and I know that I think if nurses or at some level in the hospital, the therapeutic touch nurses are angelic, the hands-on so matters. And then the the T-spheres, my father, even when I was touching with my hands, he didn't like it, but there was this nice roll flow, and the edema was, it helped the edema. It actually works. So,
yep.
yeah.
So again, Katrina's your main instructor then, so she's going to be teaching
Yes, she
all over
is.
then, and
Yeah, she's my main instructor, and I'm an educator too. I'm just more I'm working with the continuum movement and with personal trainers, Pilates, yoga instructors, and getting them on board. And I mean, if there's any massage therapist in New York who wants to contact me or come by the studio, yeah, we have to expand. But Karina she's my girl, and she's the place to go. We've worked together. She found me, or I found her somehow.
yeah.
Maybe Roxy. I'm trying to remember. And then when I saw what she did, and I'm like, oh my God, will you put my product in your next thing? Because she has all my favorites, like the TheraBand and the Yamana and all that. And then she did. She wrote it and she did, and I got the book, and I was like, oh. And then something happened where I was like, I want this woman to be my educator because I just don't have time right now. I hope to get back to it. Probably 2013, but running the company and educating, they don't work so well right now.
Yeah, you definitely picked a good educator though. So
Yes, I did.
yeah.
Oh, I don't love Karina, do
No.
I?
Yeah, and
My friend adores her.
yeah, and can MTs get discounts at all purchasing the product then, or?
Yes, through Karina. She's got the package deals, and if they contact me and we can get them set up to get some education, then yes, they're available wholesale at a minimum quantity order. Um, yes, so there are. Yeah,
That,
I do sort of put a cap if they're not coming on board and getting educated and learning how to sell them in their practice. Just because I don't, yeah, it just has to be a cap on how many they can get. So.
and what would you do if you didn't get into massage then, would you say?
What would I have been doing?
Yep.
I actually worked in nightclubs as a bartender, and I think that was draining on me, which is why my mother made me pick a school, and I went to massage school. I never thought I was going to be a massage therapist. I was just going to school, and I liked it because I got a massage, and I'm like, oh wow, go to school and get massages? Sorry, that's not what it's about. I don't know what I would be. Probably an agent for actors and actresses and dancers and stuff. I love promoting other people. I'm getting better at just promoting myself. I think people out there probably go, yeah, you talked about yourself enough. But yeah, I'd probably be an agent or a promoter.
Okay, cool. And what's the best way for people to get a hold of you then?
The website, or Stephanie at tspheres.com. or you can call me. The number's on there. We're just setting up the landline again because I was traveling so much. I would always miss my voicemails on the landline, so I disconnected it. But right now, the cell phone, 917-822-8838, and then the website, best way to get a hold of me.
Okay, perfect. So, is there any other things that you didn't think we covered it all tonight, or?
You know, I think we covered everything except for I mentioned Karina's event, and then we're doing trainings at Exhale, but that's just for the staff. I do have another educator, but she's an esthetician, and we've developed a facial rejuvenation technique. Karina also knows how to do that. Her name is Amanda Birch, so if anyone out there is an esthetician, they can contact me about that. But no, that's about it. I hope I gave everyone that's helped me get here credit and love.
Yep.
There's been so many people, like I said, I just want to encourage massage therapists out there that, you know, you need to get education on how to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself. And don't be afraid of selling products. It doesn't have to be mine, but if you find one out there you like and it helps you and you think it can help your clients, you're giving them what they're coming to see you for. And there's ways to incorporate selling a product into your session cost for a minimal fee as well. There's many ways to do it. And if you have an idea you think is worthwhile, just believe in yourself and do it. And word of mouth is great. That's how everything happened with tspheres. So, yeah.
And I love your package too. Is it a muslin bag or then? Or?
Yeah, it's actually, they call it jute or muslin, and I'm really proud of that design. It's something I worked with. She was a client of mine, Alice Coe, and then Barbara Morehouse from Origins. We were selling them in the little acrylic boxes, and I hated it. And I always wanted something where you could just, because I'm a person that has anxiety on long flights and crowded planes, and I remember one time it was like a little brown paper bag. And when I first moved to New York, they were like, carry a brown paper bag if you get anxious. And so I always had this idea that you could fit it in your lap, and the aromatherapy would waft out in that little, the little bag. You can just breathe in, and it doesn't bother anyone else. And it can go anywhere with you. Yeah. And I didn't get to talk about all the different ways to use them, but that's on the website. And what I'd like to do again with you, Ryan, is for Karina and I do a show with you, and then we could share both of our little secrets and techniques.
Yep, definitely. Definitely. Okay, so if people want to get a hold of you, so again, it's Stephanie at tspheres.com, right?
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Stephanie.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yep.
Have a great night.
Yep, thanks. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.